All right, hello and welcome. Episode 13, live Q&A. Ask us anything. Jesse Bayer here, Abundant Living Ecuador, coming to you today on Thursday, July 21st. First of all, give me a heads up that you can hear me, please, and that the audio is reasonably good. Thank you for those of you tuning in live. For those of you watching on the replay, we appreciate you checking it out. This is a live Q&A. So we'll be answering, or I'll be answering today, flying solo. Any questions you have on Ecuador, anything Ecuador related, happy to answer your questions and help you guys out in any way I can. We are in the middle or towards the end of our first retreat. It has been really a massive success. It's been more fun than I even anticipated. A great group of people who are down here checking out the area, checking out real estate, getting all kinds of information. It's been a fun time, a great group. We've got our next retreat will be at the end of September. We'll be releasing those dates here in the next few days. I think we actually have the date. If I remember correctly, I think it's September 24th that'll be kicking off. But it is the end of September. We'll be running our second retreat, Vilcabamba lifestyle retreat, we're calling it. So yeah, it's just really been a lot of fun. So that's been great. Okay, so I'll go for a while here. Then I got a dinner with the retreat folks, and then we're doing a panel on, I believe tonight is construction in Ecuador. So got to head to that in a bit. So throw the questions in the chat. Again, I'll sit and answer any of your Ecuador related questions. And yeah, so okay, sounds like you guys can hear me. Hello and welcome, Juliet. Keisha. I'm gonna forget the rest of these pronunciations, but thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Rich, glad the audio is coming in good. So put your questions in the chat, and here to answer your questions for the next half an hour or so. Again, thank you again for tuning in, and looking forward to interacting. So question: I don't like vaccines generally, especially the magic juice toxic jabs coerced on people. This said, are they absolutely required vaccines for entry in Ecuador? No, there are no vaccines whatsoever required for entry in Ecuador. The current rules still do require a PCR test, but no vaccines of any kind. Currently, to enter Ecuador, you need either a vaccine or a PCR test. So there was only about a 1 month period where they required vaccines for travel, and that was dropped some months back. It was a very short-lived requirement, and currently there are only a PCR test is required for entry into Ecuador. So that is not an issue. People, whether vaccinated or not, travel in and out all the time with no issues. So not an issue there for you at all. Yeah, and that's an interesting topic, right? Obviously a controversial one. Different people feel different ways about it, but certainly, a lot of people who are moving here, are proponents of freedom and are looking for a large degree of personal freedom with those kinds of choices. And that's important, I think, to a lot of people who live down here. So certainly you're not alone in some of those beliefs and desires. Okay. So yeah, again, thank you again for tuning in. Jesse Bayer here with Abundant Living Ecuador. We're a real estate company located in the Vilcabamba, Loja area of Southern Ecuador. We are going through a very interesting time here. We're towards the end of July 21st, and we're here in July 21st, and it is still raining, which is very unusual. I've been here 9 years. It has never rained past the end of May, because we experience a dry season and a rainy season. So during dry season, normally you get almost no rain, and then during rainy season you get just a nice amount of rain. Definitely not too much. You get usually a drizzle in the afternoon, and sometimes it rains a bit overnight. Not every day, but a good amount of days. But it's not an oppressive amount of rain. This year it's been raining still to now till July 21st. So we've never seen that before. Very interesting, and we'll see how that plays out. Okay, planning a trip next summer. Hopefully you'll have a retreat set up then. Yeah, we'll be doing one every summer. Looks like right now we'll be doing about 4 a year to begin with: summer, fall, spring, and winter, or winter and spring. So we'll definitely be able to accommodate you next summer, and we'll hopefully have those dates out pretty soon. Risk of dengue fever, etc., only in the Amazonian area of Ecuador. I've never heard of dengue fever here. I don't know if there's been cases ever or not. Perhaps there has, but it's not something I've ever heard about. So it's definitely not an issue. You don't really hear about any of those kinds of things here, whether it's dengue fever or malaria, or I've never heard of any of that stuff. Ecuador is not a country that has a lot of risks in those ways. Not a whole lot of, poisonous, really anything. I mean, there are some snakes in the Amazonian region. That's about it that I'm aware of that you really have to worry about. Yeah, so the closest airport to Vilcabamba is in Catamayo. It's the Loja airport. It's 45 minutes outside of Loja. From Vilcabamba, it's about an hour and 15 minutes the back way. From Malacatos, it is about an hour. So that's the closest airport. There's 2 flights a day, Loja to Quito. So it's pretty easy to get in and out of Quito. They used to have 2 flights a day to Guayaquil. Those were cut a little while back. We're definitely hoping those come back here at some point in the near future. They have made some noise to do so, but right now it's just 2 flights a day to Quito. And then from Quito, you can get, anywhere within Ecuador, and also really anywhere in the world. Yeah, Chris, how you doing? Hope you're doing great. Hope to see you down here sometime. Yeah, so keep the questions coming, guys, here to answer anything you have on Ecuador. Okay, do you recommend renting for a year or so like others do? It's just depends on personality type completely. It's just the way that you make decisions, right? I think that, people who say, hey, rent for a year, a lot of that I think has to do with just people, sort of jumping into something when they're not ready, right? And, making a poor choice. So I think that certainly being prepared, doing your due diligence, understanding kind of the type of person you are and how you make decisions, you want to stick to that, right? So I think if you're a methodical decision maker and you like to go slow and consider all sorts of different factors and go through a very sort of logical, iterative process, then yeah, I think renting, for a while makes a lot of sense. Check things out, take it slow, do your due diligence, all that kind of stuff. That being said, there's a lot of personality types. I'm one of them that, knows what they want, knows what they're looking for, maybe makes decisions a little bit more on feel and on sort of intuition. And, I think a lot of people, just operate that way and are going to move quickly and do things the way that makes sense to them. So I think it's really just, personal choice, personality type, more so than a hard, fast rule, but certainly nothing wrong with renting, checking a place out and seeing if it's right for you, and, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. So any other questions, guys? I'll maybe hop out of here a little early if that's all we got for today. Hang on another second. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna jump out of here, go grab a little dinner. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you for the questions. We should be back next Thursday night at 5 o'clock Central Time. Again, Jesse Bayer, Abundant Living Ecuador. Hope everyone has a great evening.